Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Mystic Destinies. So, we're gonna continue. This is the one, I don't know why it's always black screened. Polar Opposites, that's the title screen. Probably because I stopped on the title screen, but I don't know. Anyway. Takumi takes me to a place that has slowly begun to become familiar to me. I look at him with a frown, and he grins back at me. You wanted to see where he was going, right? Well, this is where he works. Oh, really? Here? As I look around trying to spot Tatsuya, I recall the last time I was here. While I was trying to leave without getting his attention, I do remember hearing Chisaki saying something about getting Tatsuya a job. You sit somewhere and I'll make sure Tatsuya is the server we get. Takumi strides off before I can say a word. It's not too busy today, so finding a seat isn't hard. I barely sat down when Takumi shows up with a very grumpy-looking Tatsuya in tow. Takumi plops down in the seat opposite mine as Tatsuya stands at the table. I'll be your server today, at the explicit request of someone. He's so cool and grumpy. I'm gonna squeeze him. Tatsuya throws Takumi an annoyed look, and Takumi grins back at him. Shouldn't you introduce yourself properly? Tatsuya sighs deeply. You know my name already. When he finally looks at me, I feel somehow braver. So is this where you've been spending all your time? Tatsuya shifts his weight from one foot to the other, his eyes looking at anywhere but me. Then he seems to make a decision finally and looks back at me. Yes, I need the money, so I have to put my job first. Now, are you two going to order anything, or did you just come by to waste my time? His words are frosty, but I smile anyway. An iced tea. Black coffee for me. Tatsuya gives Takumi a very long stare. And how many have you had today? Maybe 3? Taku... What? Just one more won't kill me? Seriously, I checked online. He's nuts. Another long stare from Tatsuya. Fine. Will there be anything else? When we shake our heads no, Tatsuya returns on his heel and walks off toward the kitchen. As I watch him leave, Takumi starts to speak. It's Mrs. Yakamura that got him the job here, you know. She brought Tatsu down a few weeks ago and asked the owner for a job for him, even though he was totally against it. I don't say anything, but my thoughts jump back to that night with Katsunasuki when I saw Tatsuya here with his mom. So back then they were here to get Tatsuya a job, I was right. Looking around the coffee house, an idea starts to form in my mind. Since Tatsuya probably spends a lot of time here anyway, this could be the perfect place to do that business assignment. Not only that, but if I got a job here too, it'd help me get expert experience as well as a chance to be closer to Tatsuya. I looked at Takumi. Takumi, do you know where I can find the owner? Takumi doesn't seem surprised by my random question in the slightest. He points to a very tall, red-haired man behind the bar. I don't know why I gave Galen the weirdest voice in the last one, but we're just gonna go with it. That's him. His name's Galen. Oh, and don't call him sir if you want to get on his good side. Somehow he seems to have easily figured me out again. Without further comment, I get up and make my way to the bar area. As if sensing my approach, Galen turns to look at me with a slight smile. Anything I can do for you? I don't know why I made him a Muppet, but I can't help it. That's his voice now. I'm so sorry to the game developers that I made him a Muppet, but I don't know. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see Tatsuya glance at me. Yes, I hope so. Galen, right? I was wondering if you're currently hiring. The owner doesn't say anything at first. Something akin to amusement dances in his green eyes. I do like that there's at least consistent, even though the paths are completely different and the storylines are different, there's a little bit of consistency in the fact that, like, she's also going to get a job here with Tatsuya, even like she did in Show's path as well. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of keeps a little bit of consistency with the characters, even though obviously a lot of what goes on in their life changes, but it's not completely drastically different. I can't even begin to comprehend what he might be thinking, but the silence starts to make me nervous. Galen tilts his head to the side and smiles. I am indeed. I'm always looking for good help. I notice Tatsuya finish preparing the drinks and start moving closer to us. Then would it be possible for me to apply? Actually, I was also hoping to speak to you about an assignment from my school's business club, too. Of course! Tatsuya is already doing an assignment on Veritas, so one more is fine with me. Yeah, we're gonna work together, whether you like it or not. Without me realizing it, Tatsuya had come close enough to hear everything. Seeing him standing behind Galen, looking so shocked, almost makes me want to laugh. I move closer to Tatsuya and smile, trying not to look too smug. See, now you can keep an eye on me, and you won't have any excuses. Plus, since you were already doing the assignment, we can work together on it. We'll work on it together. Do you have the time to fill out the paperwork right now? I turn back to Galen. Tatsuya doesn't show any reaction to what I said, though. Well, that's fine for now. This is enough. I choose to ignore him entirely and focus on Galen. Yes, I do. For the first time in a while, I feel like I'm walking on clouds. He won't be able to avoid me now if we're working together. Galen produces a pile of papers from seemingly out of nowhere and hands them to me. The cheerfulness overtakes me, and I practically float back to my seat, feeling vindicated. I drop the pile of papers on the table and plop down in my chair. Takumi takes one look at the paperwork and grins. So, you really are going to apply for a job here? Yes, I decided it would be the best option for me right now. Tatsuya is supposed to be my partner in class and business club, but he's busy, right? So this makes the most sense. As I start to work through the paperwork, my mind slowly drifts to other things. Like exactly just how busy Tatsuya is. I can't ignore the worry building in my chest. Tatsuya is taking on so much work now, he might end up burning himself out like this. I do my best to push those thoughts away and make a serious effort of starting to fill out the papers Galen gave me. I managed to fill everything in a couple of hours. That's a lot of freaking paperwork, Jesus Christ. My wrist is killing me, but I finished everything and handed it in to Galen. Takumi stayed with me all throughout that, and I ended up being grateful for his cheerful company. When I was done, he offered to walk me home. Overall, I feel much better after having visited Veritas. Thanks for helping me, Takumi. Takumi throws his hands behind his neck and stretches. No problem. I'll always help you out if you need it, partner. Oh, something clicks in my mind. A memory of a time with a little white-haired boy with chubby cheeks and me, a little girl who we always called partner while we played. Now I know for sure. You're Taku, right? He stares at me. Yeah? Oh, did you finally remember me? I smile and nod at him, or like this, the fact that she remembers him. But it's so funny because they kept calling him Taku or Takumi, and she didn't remember him at all. It was weird. I mean, I guess, it'd be like if you knew somebody named Tom when you were a kid, and then you meet another Tom, you're not gonna be like, "Oh, are you that Tom that I knew?" You know what I mean? I would know if I knew a kid named Taku or Takumi because it's not like I meet them every day of my life, but I guess in Japan, it's probably a way more common name, obviously, than it is here, so, I thought so, but you're so different now, I wasn't sure. The Taco I knew was so much smaller and adorable. He was like the perfect little brother. So does that mean I'm way too sexy and cool now for you to see me like that? Blood rushes to my cheeks, and I can feel my face start to burn. Well, he does have beautiful purple eyes. What? No! I mean, not. Just, that's not exactly what I meant. His expression turns curious. So what did you mean? Stop flirting with me! Your path is not happening yet. I just meant that you're edgier, different, I don't know. More dangerous somehow? Oh, tell me more. He prompts me with a big grin, making me laugh. Stop it. Anyway, I'm really glad to see you again. I never thought I would. Though, I don't know what you've been up to in all that black gear. I hope nothing illegal. Hey, you've got me all wrong. I'm on the right side of the law. Mostly. Well, okay. Just don't do anything too dangerous. I know Yasu would have a heart attack. Taku looks momentarily surprised for some reason. He looks away as his smile falls. Right, Yasu. Yeah, he really would, haha. Before I can say much else, we arrive at my apartment building. I turn to Takumi, feeling thankful and happy to see my old friend again all at once. I'm assuming that's someone in his family, but we'll find out, I guess, about that some other time, or that's just a casual passing that maybe we won't find about until his path. Okay, I turn to Takumi, feeling thankful and happy to see my old friend again all at once. Thanks so much for... On the night I found you at Kasima's, I know for sure now that you didn't do anything with Katsu that night. And that's because you like Tatsuya, don't you? Whatever I wanted to say to him fades almost instantly with his words. Wouldn't it just be lovely if everywhere you went you had these 5 guys fawning all over you and you're like, gee, I don't know who to pick? Maybe one would be nice. I mean, Jesus. Whatever I wanted to say to him fades almost instantly with... Okay, yeah, just make sure I read that. Heat floods my face. No, I don't. Where'd you even get that idea? I barely know the guy. And he's rude and moody and mean, and he barely even helped me as a partner. So, Takumi puts his index finger over my lips to stop me. Then his hand falls to his side, and he steps back with a small smile. It's always been someone else. But I'm glad this time it was Tatsuya. He pauses for a moment. Tatsuya has a hard time connecting with people. The guy works too much, hardly ever does anything for fun, and I think he's pretty lonely. So he could use someone like you. So don't worry about it. If you're really into him, I'll help you get him. Everybody needs a Takumi in their life. I like him more as we see him in other, paths. You know what I mean? Because, you think about it, he doesn't have magic, so, how could he really help you? But you didn't really see him in Sho's path. You see him a little bit more in this one, so I'm kind of it's probably because he's, Tatsuya's roommate, so I'm assuming it's going to be the same. In Shinji's path, we'll probably see Sho more than we do in this one, you know what I mean? Just because of their relationships, which is kind of cool. I open my mouth to say something, but it's even hard to form thoughts, much less get any words out. Smiling brightly, Takumi quickly looks away from me. For a moment, I could swear that I see tears forming in his eyes. But he turns on his heel, away from me before I can tell for sure. Oh, look, yeah, he does! Oh my god, they even put it on the little... I don't know what these are, I don't know the terms. I know that something's called sprites, and then I don't know if that's these people's. I don't really know. I gotta learn the, visual novel lingo here, but that's cute that he is actually teary. When he speaks, it's in a voice that's a bit higher than usual. We'll see you later! Wait, Taku... Before I can say anything else, though, Takumi jogs off and disappears on the horizon. Taku, you can't. No, I'm probably just misinterpreting things. Oh, Taku, you can't... No, I'm probably just misinterpreting things. Aw, does he have feelings for her? That's so sad. Don't worry, we'll get to you. I climb the stairs with my feelings in a complete jumbled up mess. When I get inside, I move in a daze toward my sofa and drop down onto it. I don't really like him, do I? Immediately, memories of my time with Tatsuya flash through my head. When I think about it, I guess it's not that hard to see that we have a lot in common. We're both interested in business, we're both the type to take our studies seriously, and we're both logical people. I understand the way he thinks. I feel safe around him, like I can just relax and trust in his confidence. Plus, he's kind of nerdy, and with the sweater vest going on, and that's kind of hot, not gonna lie. He can even be very sweet at times, and it makes me want to find out more about him. But I can't think of him without thinking about her, Haruna. And I can never forget how he acted around her, how he looked at her. The very memory makes my stomach churn. I shake my head, shooing those thoughts away. No more of that. Tonight I'll just focus on something else, something fun and relaxing. I will myself to think of anything but that as I get up to go to my room. I prepare myself for an evening of nothing but me and my laptop playing games well into the night. That's what I'm doing now! Yesterday ended up being a bit of a mixed bag. The good thing is that I managed to find a way to spend more time with Tatsuya. The bad is that I had to distract myself from negative feelings about Tatsuya. Sorry, I had to fix my cord on my headphones anyway. Needless to say, I spent way too many hours playing video games and watching anime instead of focusing on homework. Sounds like a good idea. I ended up falling asleep midway through the last episode of Sakura's Sparkle Cure, too. And I didn't have enough time in the morning to watch what I slept through. I held back a sigh and looked around the lobby. After school, Dad called me again and invited me back to sit in on another meeting. Only it's with Katsu again. From the moment I stepped into the Shinomura lobby, my stomach began to feel like it's filled with lead. Sorry, Dad, this guy is creeptastic, and I don't trust him, and nope. Meeting Katsu again after what happened last week makes me feel beyond uncomfortable. I can barely sit still without the overwhelming feeling of wanting to run away taking over me. Will he say anything to my father? My heart pounds uncomfortably fast in my chest. Will he tell him that I have powers? Of course, I saw him use his abilities, so that means I could rat him out as well. Would he even care if I did, though? Many thoughts swirl in my mind, but the fact is that Katsu could tell my father about me regardless of whether I'm here or not, so I decided to go. I almost jump out of my skin when I hear a familiar voice greet me. Hey there. Oh no, I didn't expect to see him so soon. Why are you looking at me like that? As if I were some sort of bad guy. I didn't say anything and just stare up at him. I'm not even sure what to say to him now. Whatever it is he understands from my silence, I'm not sure, but he gives a short laugh. He doesn't say anything else, letting the quiet settle between us while we wait. I try my best to ignore the awkwardness that I feel, but as the seconds tick away, I start to get more and more fidgety. For a brief moment, I actually consider striking up a conversation with Katsunosuke. But the elevator door opens with a ding and Dad walks out. As he walks toward us, he smiles at me. Mr. Kasima, good to see you again. Dad and Katsu briefly nod at each other, then he turns to me. And Inara, it's nice to see that you decided to come after all. I'd like you to join us through the rest of this negotiation as much as Kasima does. He was the one to request your presence this time. I smile and nod along with what my father is telling me, but a sensation of dread rapidly spreads throughout my body. I follow after Dad and Katsu into the elevator with my eyes on Katsunosuke's back. So he asked for me. I have no way of predicting what Katsu might be plotting, but knowing that he asked for me to be here puts me on high alert. Neither of the two men seem to notice that there's something on my mind as we go up to Father's office. The meeting goes on without any issue, despite whatever I was expecting Katsu to do. It really doesn't seem like he has any ulterior motive. As far as I can tell for now, anyway. Katsunosuke quietly reads over some contracts my father had given him, his turquoise eyes scanning over every word. He puts down the papers and finally looks up at my father with an easy smile. The conditions seem fine, and the amount you're offering is more than generous. Then do you... Father's words are muffled by the sudden commotion outside the office door. Please, sir, Mr. Shinomura is in the middle of a meeting. What's going on? Please stop, you can't just... Please wait! I turn to Dad and Katsu, but they seem to be just as confused as I am. Oh no, wait! I can see that Dad is about to get up to go see what's going on when the office door bursts open with a bang. Tatsuya? Tatsuya stands in the doorway. I'm so sorry, Mr. Shinomura. He just wouldn't stop. I almost miss it, but I could swear that I see his eye twitch slightly when he looks at Katsunosuke. He looks right at my father. Oh, does he not know that? Oh. He looks right at my father, and when he speaks, his voice doesn't waver in the slightest. My name is Tatsuya Yukamura, and as someone who will be directly affected by this plan, I have a right to listen in on these negotiations. I'll stand in on behalf of the entire Yukamura family whose assets are being sold. Why are their assets being sold? Why would your assets be sold by somebody else? I don't understand that. I hold my breath at the sudden tension that permeates the room. Just what the hell is going on here? Katsu is selling the Yukamura businesses? But that means... Are they related? Father stands up slowly, looking less than happy. I'm not sure if that's appropriate, Mr. Yukamura. Father glances at Katsunosuke, who lets out a chuckle. Why not, if he wants to so badly? I'd like to hear what Snowflake has to say anyway. Snowflake? When I look at Tatsuya, he doesn't react to the odd nickname at all. It's as if he didn't realize he was being called that, or was simply used to it. If that's your wish, then? Mrs. Yamaguchi, thank you, that'll be all. Mrs. Yamaguchi bows her head and retreats out of the room. I apologize for interrupting. I won't do it again. With that, he takes one of the remaining empty armchairs in front of the conference table. As he sits down, he glances at me, but other than a slight raise of his eyebrows, he shows no other signs of recognizing me. So, yeah, because he's, not going to be like, what are you doing here? But I bet anything, he's probably like, he's being preserved, because normally he'd be like, what the frick? Because he has no idea who she is. Now then, since everything's settled, why don't we continue the meeting? Mr. Shinomura, if you will. Oh, yes, of course. I hold back a giggle. It's so strange to see Dad looking so flustered for once. I suppose he's not used to having people burst in on meetings. I haven't seen him blush like that since the time As soon as the thought starts to form, I shut it down. No, this is not the time to be remembering her. Dad sits back down in his chair and straightens himself up. I focus all my attention on him and the meeting. Yes, so as I was saying, I have decided to go ahead with purchasing not just all of the property that the Kasima family owns, but that of the entire Ryu clan. Katsunosuke remains quiet. He doesn't seem at all bothered when Tatsuya suddenly speaks instead. And what will happen to all the employees? We'll keep employees where we can, but honestly, not all shops will be considered viable. Some affected businesses will be closed, and where possible, the employees in other stores will be laid off with a sizable severance check. Tatsuya's face twists in anger. He leans forward to the desk. And my father. So you'll just close down shops that mean everything to my family like it's nothing. You're not even bothering to ask the people themselves what they think or if they even want this. But Shinomura is offering more than enough money to buy out the businesses, and the employees could go on to live happy lives. Did you ask them that then? If that's something that will make them happy? You think that people will be glad to lose their life's work? To lose their dreams, all for some money? In America, yeah. Man. Sadly, yeah, it's not like that in Japan, but here people would be like, okay. They'll sell their children for money here. Jesus. Sad. What? When he puts it that way, it does sound bad. But it's only the businesses that are doing poorly in the first place that would get closed down. We would never just take away people's dreams. But that could be their dream, and even though their business isn't doing well, you know what I mean? It's their business. Katsunosuke's eyes are on me as I argue with Tatsuya. His eyes sparkle with what I could only call delight. It's as if he's highly entertained by all this. Inara, that's enough. It looks like we won't be able to reach a consensus comfortably today, Mr. Kashima. Hearing my father's words, I snap back to reality. I finally comprehend that I've been having an argument with what was essentially one of my father's clients. It seems so. I hate to admit it, but if the Yukimuras are involved now, I'll need a bit more time. We'll need to have the Ryu's final answer on the deal before the end of this fiscal quarter next month. I'm well aware. I'll think about how to handle the matter. I'll think about how to handle the matter and be in touch. So, oops, missing word there. Katsu rises to his feet. Father follows suit, and they exchange a quick handshake. He then looks down at me. I can't read what he's thinking. Inara, I'd like to have a word with you outside, if you would. Reluctant feels like an understatement to describe what I'm feeling now. I look to my father. I had wanted to talk to him about my okay, there's a lot of missing words in this one. There was some fast typing going on. Okay. About my mother as well as some other things today. But I see him urging me to go along with Katsu with his eyes. Guess I'll just ask another time then. Thank you for inviting me, Father. I'll talk to you later then. As I get up from my seat, Tatsuya refuses to look at me. I realize that he wants to stay behind to talk to my father. With a heavy heart, I follow after Katsunosuke, and we walk out of the room together. We're out on the sidewalk, maybe only a few steps away from the Shinomura entrance. Oh my god. When Katsunosuke suddenly spins around. He gets in my face to the point I back into a wall. Cornered between him and the wall, I have no choice but to look up at him. I want to continue our conversation from earlier. I want to know. Why do you seem so afraid and uncomfortable around me? Because I don't like you, you're creepy. Has someone talked to you about me? What? Like who? Talk to me about what? Katsu doesn't answer, just keeps scrutinizing with those surprisingly hard eyes. I just have some questions about what happened that night. Is that all then? I'll be happy enough to answer them when you come on that date I asked for. We didn't get to finish it after all. I look away, not feeling up to dealing with him after everything that happened at the meeting. I just need to get away from Katsunosuke somehow. As if hearing my thoughts, he follows my line of vision. Thinking about getting away from me? Exactly why is that anyway? After that amusing little argument, I've been wondering, could it be that you're interested in Snowflake? Uncomfortable with the line of questioning, I decide to turn it around on him. Why do you care anyway? It's my business. I'm a curious person, and you've got my interest right now. I refuse to say anything else and simply glare up at him. He is such a creeper. I actually really want Echoes to get funded because I really, really would love to see him in a not creeper light. The same with Julius. You know what I mean? Because they're like creepy jerks and you're like, no, back off, creeper, but, like, I feel like if we were a different girl, maybe not so, like, goody two-shoes, that maybe he wouldn't be as creeper. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they'd be thinking of, like, Sho, and Tatsuya's like, what is wrong with you, weirdo? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I kind of feel like I would love to see that, because I want to see them in, like, a different light. Like, in the perspective of a girl who's, like, more in tune and in line with them as being, you know what I mean? Like, because Onara is just not, no. She's not on this, in the same path as them, so that's why they seem like creepers and jerks and whatever. And obviously they're made to be kind of creepy, and, like, you're not supposed to like them. But, you know what I mean? It's still, like, I just want to see them in that other light, and I would love to actually have them as, like, romance options with somebody that would actually fit better for them, just because then I feel like they wouldn't be like creepers. You would see that other side, so I don't know. Anyway, I refuse to say anything else and simply glare up at him. Because, I mean, he's pretty, but he's kind of scary. Finally, he laughs and carelessly runs a hand through his long hair. Actually, he really only has long hair right over here, and then the rest of it looks like it's short in the back. I don't know. Regardless, regarding that date, since I don't have time today, I'll take you out tomorrow. Yeah, maybe. I prefer a yes. Katsu doesn't seem willing to back off at all. I rack my brain trying to come up with some good excuse that I could give him, but I'm drawing a blank. After what happened last time, there's no way I'm going on a date with this creep. But I can't be too rude to him as long as he's a client of Father's. Inara? Hearing someone call my name out, Katsu and I both turn to look at the newcomer. Oh, Sho! We miss you so much! Save me! Oh, our dashing golden prince. Sho was the last person I expected to see here. He looks seriously from Katsunosuke to me, his usual smile not present. He takes a step closer to us, his eyes are focused on Katsu. Sho? Hey, I'm Sho Hattori, a friend of Inara's. Do you know Inara? Huh? What? Luckily, Katsu doesn't seem to notice my confusion. His eyes are entirely focused on Sho. I almost sigh in relief when Katsu backs away and fully turns to face him. Thanks, Sho. Of course, he's our golden prince. Katsunosuke Kasima, a pleasure, Katsunosuke Kasima, a pleasure, I'm sure. As for if we know each other, you could say that. He looks down at me again and leans to whisper in my ear. I'll see you later. Creeper! He's such a creeper! He is like a date rapist creeper. Like, I mean, he is dangerous. Seemingly satisfied for the moment, Katsunosuke saunters away without bothering to acknowledge Sho any further. Sho comes to stand next to me, although his eyes follow Katsu for a while until his form is lost in the crowds. Are you alright, Inara? Yes, much better now. Who was that guy anyway? Was he your boyfriend? No, he's just some guy who seems to like me. I'm honestly thankful that you showed up when you did. This is the way I take to go to Chawa. And anyone could see that guy was being creepy with some girl. I was just surprised to see that it was you. Can I manage to avoid him next time? I get the feeling Katsu won't back off again. I look at Sho and smile. Well, anyway, thank you for helping me out. Oopsie. Oopsie. Okay, sorry. I clicked off of my screen by accident and clicked on my OBS. Whoops. Sure, happy to help. I'll see you later, Sho. I give him a little wave as I walk away, but my thoughts weigh heavily on my heart. I somehow ended up caught in the middle of this negotiation in the worst way possible. I would have stayed and waited for Tatsuya. Like, just to talk to him. I start feeling nauseous the more I think about it. What if I really mess up this deal horribly for Dad? Too bad! You should not put out just to help your dad get a deal, and if that's what that guy wants, your dad should go murder him. How can I expect to take over after him when I'm such a mess? I didn't even think about it before I started arguing with Tatsuya. At this point, I'm not worthy of the position at all. I sigh and shake my head, trying to clear myself of the gloominess that threatens to take over me. If I don't get it together, Dad might want Kaio to become his successor. I didn't think she'd forgive me if she were forced into that. Although I can't stop myself from feeling miserable, I decided that I won't let myself fail. Not until I've at least tried my best. Pushing those thoughts aside for now, I turn to walk towards the station. Already feeling exhausted from the day's events, I can't wait to get home. I mean, this is why Tatsuya's path is super long, because we never have any time with him. Not gonna lie. But anyway, we're gonna stop here because this is chapter 7. Oh my god, I love this game so much. So yeah, I will wrap this part up here. I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.